figure out where we're growing. Yeah.
Okay, got my notes. Alright, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Talia Lee, and today's video is gonna be a little chatty advice video. Basically, I just wanted to go over what I wish I knew before I went to college, and as an engineering student, I figured I had a little more insight into what it's like to be a STEM student at college. Hopefully, I have a few helpful things to say. If not, I apologize in advance. I'm now going into my senior year, so I figured I've learned a thing or two, or at least I hope. And this video is a collab with another engineering student here on YouTube. Her name is Kristen. I'll have her video and her channel linked down below. She's talking about what she wishes she knew before she went to college. And yeah, she makes a lot of really awesome fitness content. Like, her fitness dedication is like my goals. But yeah, we just wanted to make this little helpful video. We noticed that there's not a whole lot of engineering students who are YouTubers, so we figured this could be pretty helpful. I'm also popping in some general college advice too, so even if you're not an engineering student, I hope that you find this helpful, but this is kind of what I wish I knew before majoring in engineering. And again, for context, I'm a rising senior at Worcester Polytechnic Institute studying biomedical engineering, and I have a focus on biomechanics. And I guess I'll do a little backstory to my education too. I just have an advanced Regents diploma from high school in New York State, and my senior year I did go to an engineering program for the majority of the day to kind of get my foot in the door, see if I liked the field and everything. I knew that I wanted to go into biomedical engineering around my junior year of high school, and if you want to hear more about how I chose my major, how I chose my college, all of that, just leave that in the comments below and I'll definitely make a separate video on that. So just in general, overall, I've found that engineering is hard, and like everyone says that, but it's totally manageable and it's totally worth it. I feel like it's a really rewarding field, and that's one of the reasons why I chose it, is because you're kind of the behind the scenes to helping a lot of people in their everyday lives. So I basically just broke up my advice into two separate categories, which I found were kind of like the overarching themes when I was trying to think of the best advice to give to somebody. And that is, connections are everything and time is extremely valuable. So first I'm gonna start talking about connections a little bit. My first tip is to make friends in the classes that you're in. I know that this is like a very obvious one and everyone says it because it is true. You want to get phone numbers so that you can set up like study groups, or you can just like ask questions if you're confused about something in class, and it's somebody that's like at your level in the class obviously, and so it's not as intimidating as the TA or the professor. But speaking of that, it's so important to attend both TA and professor office hours if you can. I feel like TAs, which are like teacher's assistants, so it's usually like a grad student or somebody who's already taken the class, and they basically just help the professor out with like grading or holding office hours to answer students' questions. And at my school specifically, we have peer learning assistants. Wait, is that what they're called? I don't know, they're called PLAs. But anyways, it's basically just like a student who's taking the class and they can help you. Yeah, this is so nice for just general like studying and homework help, but also like going over grades. Like if you don't understand why you got something wrong, I've literally like fought for points back just by like explaining myself, because it kind of just shows that like you did know the concept. I'm not saying that your TA is gonna change your grade, but I've just felt like in my experience they've been an extremely helpful resource. And then again, attending professor office hours is so important, obviously just for like help in the class, but also potentially for a future reference or recommendation. You really want to start networking at college because that's really important for your career, especially in engineering. And also if you like what the professor is doing for maybe like in their lab or just their experience in the field, you could potentially do like an independent study or work in their lab. Also, don't be afraid to add fellow students on LinkedIn. This is huge. You'll like grow your LinkedIn network, and I could like make a whole video about why LinkedIn is like so amazing and important, but there's like a ton out there already and I'm no expert. But download LinkedIn if you haven't already. Just in general, why these connections are everything is because you never know if one of them could lead to a future internship or a job, or on the other side of it, like if you could help one of them too. So the next big overarching theme that I wish I knew was that time is extremely valuable. A huge thing that especially happened to me is you realize that your priorities will change over the years, even just year to year throughout college, and don't be afraid of this change. I know freshman year, I definitely prioritized socializing because I was meeting a bunch of new people, but now my priorities have kind of shifted. So I absolutely love my friends so much and I'll hang out with them, but I don't necessarily take the time to meet as many new people, which can definitely be a negative thing, but at the same time, I feel like I've definitely focused more on my future career goals as I'm getting like closer and closer to that point in my life. But a huge helpful thing for understanding and truly using like all of your time efficiently is to time block. And actually one of my YouTube friends, Laura, just made a video on this that was really amazing. So I'll just have that link down below because she explains time blocking like so much better than I ever could. Okay, another kind of obvious thing though is to actually study. Like, you won't regret it. I know for me, in high school, I loved school and I'd always prioritized school, but I never really had to study that much depending on the class. And so once I got to college, I realized that you will never regret if you study a ton. Even if you do poorly on the test, you know that you worked your butt off, and that's like all that you have at the end of the day, is just knowing that you gave it all of your effort. And I feel like that's better than even if you do get a bad grade but you didn't study, then you're just gonna beat yourself up about that. I will say though, I kind of touched on this earlier, but don't be afraid to spend your time on social things, whether it's going out on the weekend or just going to like new events or new clubs or whatever it is. Especially like freshman and senior year, those are the times where you're meeting a bunch of people freshman year and you want to make all of those great connections and friends. But then also senior year, you will never be in a situation like this again in your life where all of your friends are so accessible to hang out with all the time. And another thing that has to do with time is basically just be strict but be honest with yourself. So this means keeping school high in your priorities. I mean, you're going to college for engineering and you don't want to just slack off, but also since engineering or any STEM major honestly can be really hard, it's also important to prioritize your mental and emotional health. Like, take time for yourself, rest if you need to, and get help when you need to. And a little side note to go off with that, you need to learn how to nap at college. Like, that was a skill that I did not have before I went to college, to be honest. I maybe took like a few naps in high school. I don't know if that's weird and I don't know if that's just me, but you want to learn how to nap before you go to college. Big tip. Okay, so just to wrap this up, in general, I just want to stress that GPA is not the end all be all. Yes, you're going into a field that potentially puts GPA over everything, whatever, but if your GPA is crap freshman year like mine was, you're not alone. Like, freshman year in college in general was still just like a big slap in my face, and I have had to work the past couple of years to truly improve my GPA. It was terrible freshman year and now it's getting better and better because I've learned all of these things that I'm telling you. So hit me up if you're struggling, or hit me up if you're in the same boat, whatever. I'd literally love to chat with you guys about this, whether you're just going into college now or you're already in college. I'm sure that we can all relate on some level. And as I always say, let me know if you want to see more engineering related content or just college content in general. Leave your questions down below. I'd love to do like an engineering Q&A or whatever. And be sure to check out Kristen's video because she's giving some really great advice as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps. And comment down below one piece of advice that you would give to your freshman self. And if you haven't gone to college already, comment down below what your favorite piece of advice was from this video. And thanks so much for watching. Bye!